Peace and blessings. I hope you guys are doing well. All praises to the Most High. All praises to our Midlife King Yoshua Mashiach. For without him, where would we be? I just want to get on here and just talk a little bit about the slave contracts that you guys are up under. And a lot of people in this program and people outside of the program. Well, I guess I can't really say too much about the people that are doing the perpetrating because they're still in the program as well. They're just under different bindings than we are. We're not binded to them. You understand? They're binded to us. That's the reason why they still need to sap us, right? But I want to talk about the slave contracts that a lot of the people are up under. And you have to understand this goes back to, as we already know, back to slavery. So your last name, that's why I told you need to be looking up your last name if you haven't already done that. You need to be trying to trace your lineage as far back as you possibly can. And you can do that with just simple research. Pay for, I'm not talking about the DNA test, pay for Ancestry. Go to Ancestry.com. That's more than enough information for you to figure out who your lineage is connected to. Because you have to understand that these contracts go back to slavery. And a lot of the times they happen way before that in the biblical days. So they live on today to plague us. As we know, these are these generational curses, but I'd like to call them generational slave contracts, right? And what comes with those contracts are demons that are assigned to you, right? To make sure that your life is a living hell and that you keep steered in the course of destruction for every bloodline, right? That is the promise of the darkness. Now, the slave contracts specifically, your last name, the coat of arms, all of that has meaning to it. And I told you that your social security number, your birthday, your zodiac sign, all of that has meaning. It is significant. Absolutely it is. It's not just there for nothing. So these slave contracts, a lot of the perpetrators today, and this is where I'm going to get into reparations, because I want you to not take that deal. That's a lie. Okay, the only way that you can get reparations today for so-called black people is unless you sell out. That's it. That's the only way you're going to get reparations. You're not going to just get a handout, a free handout. It's just like winning the lotto. I told you that. It's just like winning the lotto. You think these are just by chance people winning the lotto and they get to take all that money that the government gives them and run off into the sunset? Come on now. Without any terms and conditions? No way. That money has to be funneled back into the system that gave it to them. So I keep telling you, and at the end of the day, they're going to keep what they give. They're going to ensure that. The last names that's attached to you, as we know, so-called black people, those obviously are your slave masters' last names. Now, you can choose to continue to, and here's what I'm saying, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm in any way, shape, or form trying to say that, oh, well, I have to disown my last name. No, nobody's telling you that. In order to actually still make money to buy or sell, you will still have to use your government-issued name, your slave name. You understand what I'm saying? Because that social security number is attached to it. So the slave masters are still reaping benefits off of you. They've been doing that. They've been doing it. There's nothing new, right? But I just want you to understand that, these slave contracts comes with demons, okay? And this is the reason why you're being heavily targeted and attacked, okay? Because chances are you're the one who is breaking the generational curse. And they can't have that. So in order to actually get reparations, you would have to sell out. Like I said, there's many different forms of selling out. It's not just, oh, you take a deal and then run off into the sunset, or, oh, you give up a loved one. There's many different forms of sacrificing yourself and others whom you claim to love, because that's where it's at. The wicked oblation. Okay. Now, the slave masters, which are these elitist people, you understand, these are the people that we're attached to. It's best that you know that. And now that you know, what are you going to do with it? I'm not going to tell you what to do with it. I'm just giving you a piece of the pie. And this is stuff that you already know or should know. But it needs to be reiterated to you. I believe so. Research your family history as far back as you can go. I know it's going to be tiring, but you got to do it. This is how I was able to know who I was attached to, why they were sending certain celebrities to dress up in disguise to try to perk me and shit and think I don't know them. I don't know them people personally, but I know them by face. Just by photographic memory, I know you. Even if you're in makeup, and like I said, just because you are in costume does not mean that I'm going to let you know that I know that that's you. I'm going to know. Because y'all little crafts don't work like that for me. You're not going to be able to blindside me. That's what you see today. When you see these families who are up there starting foundations and things like that, they still have to have some type of attachment to the person that they sacrificed, right? Which is another slave. Unfortunately, they're slaves too, just with money. Just with money. And they're still able to buy or sell. And that's what the scriptures talk about. If you're able to still buy or sell and they have not compromised your opportunity to make money with occupational sabotage, reputational sabotage, then know that you are definitely, you have to be worshiping the beast. Because I can't make money at all. I can't even get a job flipping burgers or doing sanitation, something as small as that. Janitorial, I can't get a job doing. And it's not because I have a record. I have no record. My record is squeaky clean. They're not going to let me make money unless I sell out and I adopt my slave identity. So everyone has one in this matrix. Everyone is a slave to this system, including a lot of the elitists. They're actually slaves to what the Most High is forcing them to do. He's making them do this. Absolutely he is. He's in control of everything. I don't know how many times I gotta hammer this down into y'all heads. And I'm not mad or anything like that. It's just like sometimes it's frustrating because it's like I want you guys to understand this and I want you to get it. Like, this is deeper than what you think. It's not just because you piss somebody off. It's because you know. And to have knowing, like I said, does not mean that you are wise. It just means you know. But knowing is good enough. What you want is understanding about what you want to know and what you already know. That's what you want, because that's important. Why don't you want to understand how far your rabbit hole goes? Because I'm telling you, it's very deep. And I'm talking about that rabbit hole that extends from you back, all the way back to your lineage. As far as you can go, you need to trace it. And I'm going to tell you this too. You got cousins, close and distant, who are perping your ass. And you probably don't even know them people. I'm saying especially, of course you don't know them if they're a distant cousin and you don't know who you're related to. Just because they have your last name, people think that those people are not related to you. Why do they have your last name? Doesn't matter what race you are. But we already know what it is. So these slave contracts are still put into place, and they're to ensure that you remain a slave. And in order to still be able to work, make money, buy, or sell, you would have to work up under the slave identity. How else do you expect me to make money if I don't use the name that I was born with that's on my birth certificate? Nobody's telling you to... But see, here's the thing. This is the reason why the system is crumbling anyways. You see, the economic system is crumbling and they're figuring out a way to try to save it. Right? You will have to merge with AI. That is also a part of the beast. And the image is AI. harebrained, harem scarum. I could never sell out my people. I don't care how much money you give me or attempt to. I can never do that. I can never sell out my people, and I can never sell out a stranger. Especially if you ain't done nothing wrong to me. And even if you have done something wrong to me, I'm not going to sell you out. See, that's what they want. They want you to feel like retribution is in the palm of your hands. And you can do what you please when it comes to revenge. And you can't. I would suggest that you utilize what is at your disposal, and that is the court systems. If you want to do it, it's taxing. I'm going to tell you it's taxing. But I'm saying if you want that, then do it. And if you're good and the Most High, and you know that the Most High got you and he's providing for you and you okay with that, wholesome, a simple life, then you're good. But you can for sure utilize the court systems. Many people have done it. Oh, but they get in hell. And like I said, this goes back to a lot of those people who were killed in secret. They just wrote them off. Never hear from them again. And pay off all the families and the close relatives, the close friends, so that they can corroborate the lie and take that to their graves. Y'all like being slaves, I guess. Not me. I don't like being a slave. Because at the end of the day, you can't run my mouth or you cannot run my mind. It's not going to happen. Reparations is a joke. A fucking joke. You ain't getting no damn reparations. The only way you getting reparations is unless you give up your kin. The only way you getting reparations is unless you are a victim, so-called victim, of some big psyop operation, right? That they can use as a storyline in the media. And all you are just a puppet. With money. Which don't mean shit. Because people think if you ain't got money, then you ain't got nothing. That's y'all thinking. Oh, if I don't have money, I can't support my family. I got kids to feed. You should hear the crap that they got to say. Their excuses for doing this stuff to people. You should hear it. Everybody got families that they care about and people that they love. Who are you? Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta make sure that I keep my house afloat. I gotta make sure my car payments are made on time. Whose fault is that? See, if you had an honest job, an honest heart, mind, you already know you don't need to do shit like that. Because the Most High ain't gonna let you be poor. Poor to me is literally third world countries. Droughts. Stricken third world countries. That is poor to me. Where you literally are dirt. That's dirt poor. Now, if you sitting up here saying that you poor, I don't believe in that. If you've been born, if you've lived in the United States, to me, I don't think that you can necessarily be poor. You're not. Because they have access and means for you to have something. And that's just really what it is. I'm not here to try to debase anybody's struggle. I'm not going to say that. Everybody struggle. But you're not dirt poor. Dirt poor is those nations over there. And like I said, those drought-stricken nations. It's still no excuse. So yeah, reparations is a joke. The only way you're getting it is unless you sell out. And you have a lot of the so-called black people are marrying into these other nations for that reason. Why do you think they're doing that? So that they can have access to that money that they're owed. But you already know that the Most High said that he already is going to give you the promise. So you have to wait until he gives it to you. It's not going to be given to you in this land. You're not supposed to be a king and queen of this land. But hey, if you are reaping the benefits, then that's exactly what you are of this land. And that's what they're keen on protecting. That's why they are big on spreading the virus to their children. Because whatever they cannot finish, they want their children to be able to do. Here they go playing. So the slave contracts is a joke when we talk about reparations, to be exact. And I know it's people out there, oh, I want my reparations. I want my 40 acres and a mule. Please, they ain't gave it to you this long. When do you think they're going to give it to you? It's a joke. I'm done. I'm done. Do your research, please, folks, if you're in this program, on your last name and your first name. Do the numerology for your first and last name so that you will know. This stuff is okay to know. You might want to know if you want deeper understanding, but if you don't care to want to know, you already understand it without having to do all that. Yah bless you. I'm out.